Hello, beautiful people. Today we'll be discussing Wazuh, and Wazuh is a security monitoring tool. I just want to give us a brief overview of what this tool does. I like to call it an IDS or IPS that helps to detect, monitor, and respond to security threats. Its major capacity range from log monitoring, threat detection, file integrity, and compliance monitoring. It works in three different parts. We have the Wazuh manager, which usually in most cases is the server. That's the one who does the overall monitoring. And then we have the Wazuh agents. And in this case, they can also be referred to as our endpoint devices. And then, of course, we have the monitoring dashboard. To understand the concept better, we can explain it using the parent-child relationship. As a parent, you're the responsible adult who monitors children and correct them when they do wrong, basically. So the Wazuh manager in this case is the one who monitors the activity of the children and ensures that nothing goes wrong, basically. On that note, let's dive in. Today, we'll be dividing our section into three. The first one will be centered on installing the Wazuh. The second one will be testing the Wazuh installation and launching the manager. And the third will be connecting an agent to the manager. Um, in that case, we move on. So right here on my screen, we can see the VirtualBox environment. To install the Wazuh, we would click on File and then select Import Preferences. We'll select the location where our Wazuh image is already stored. And then after that, we'll click Next. And it gives us a summary of our entire system image settings. At this point, I've chosen to rename the system for easy identification. I would leave most of the settings as default settings, but I want to scroll down to see if everything works well with me, and then I click finish. Now that it's finished, we can see on the screen it says importing appliance. This is usually going to take a while, so I'll pause the video at this point and then replay later. Now we are done with importing the appliance. We want to launch the Wazuh environment. Now that the Wazuh is loaded, what we are doing next is to log in, obviously, to the environment. And we'll just wait for it to load. Okay, now it's fully loaded. We're logging into the environment using the username and the password credentials. Next thing is to get the IP address. So we'll use the Linux command ifconfig in this case, because that's the environment where the Wazuh is. So now that we've done this, we've been able to obtain the IP address of our Wazuh manager. To be able to access it better using a GUI, I have also launched my Kali Linux and opened it side by side with the Wazuh. I've confirmed the IP address of Kali Linux to confirm it's within the same network. I also want to ping the Wazuh to see that it is still active. So using the command fping, we can see that it says that particular machine is alive. Now that we have concluded on this, the next thing we want to do is just to ensure that the reason we can communicate with both machines is because the network settings are the same. So from here, for the Kali, the network setting is attached to the bridge adapter, and same for the Wazuh, the network setting is attached as well to the bridge adapter. This is, of course, one of the reasons why we can connect both together. Next thing is to launch our Wazuh manager using the IP of the Wazuh environment. Well, yeah, it usually gives this notice. Next thing we do is just to accept the risk and continue. Now, Wazuh manager is loading. It has a default password, which is what we are going to use at this point. Of course, we know that's not best practice in cybersecurity, but this is just for educational purposes. You should work on that when you're setting up your own for a real world environment. We're gonna, now that it's the interface is fully loaded, the next thing we want to do is the third item we had planned out for today, which is to connect an agent for to the manager. And We can see all of the capabilities of Wazuh: endpoint security, threat intelligence, security operations, and cloud. So what we want to do now is on our machine, the machine we want to serve as the agent, I'll put the link to download the Wazuh agent file, and then we would download this file and then run it on the machine we want to serve as the agent. So now I am installing our Windows agent application. We follow through the usual installation process, and then when the installation is done, we'll just hold on till the installation. Okay, so now that the installation is done, we'll run agent and then we'll click finish. So now all of this, remember, is done within the machine we want to use as the agent, not our server or the Wazuh manager itself. Then at this point, we're going to impute the IP address of the Wazuh manager, which is the IP we had used to connect to Wazuh. And once we input the IP here, the next thing will be to save the information. Okay, so now we are going to save this, and it says manager IP saved. At this point, we'll return to our Wazuh manager to deploy an agent. In between all of this, I've already obtained the IP of my agent, ensuring to use the terminal as an administrator. So the agent I intend to add here is a Windows agent. Now clicking on Windows, server address is going to be the address of the agent. Okay, yeah, we checked the remember server address. We can give the agent a name of our choosing. So whatever name you choose, you can put in at this point. And then the next thing is to select the existing group. For now, we have just one group, which is the default group. So we'll select that. And then the next thing will be to copy this command, which we would go into our agent to run. Now, launching our agent as an administrator, I'm going to run this command on the agent. Okay, so press enter. Now it says writing web request. We're going to wait till this is done. And if we go back to our Wazuh manager, the next step it says is to start the agent using the command net. Yeah, sorry. Using the command net start Wazuh. So I return here now and then net start Wazuh and then click enter. So now it says the Wazuh service is starting. Wazuh service was successfully started. We return to the Wazuh manager to refresh the page just to confirm our installation is fine. So here it says we have one active device. If we click on the active device, it's going to give us all the information we need to know about our current agent that will be monitored by this manager. So at this point, you can add multiple agents depending on your use case, and then you can proceed with the monitoring as much as you want. Thank you and see you on the next video. Bye.